Welcome boys. In this video, I'll be doing a brief tabletop review on our Beretta APX A1 or APEX A1 Carry. There's really not much to say about the gun itself, but I will be comparing it to some what I believe its competitors would be or other similarly sized weapons for your self-defense / target practice. And this video will be slightly inspired by the man who commented recently on my High-Point Yeet Cannon Gen 1 versus Gen 2 comparison. He mentioned that I find, or have, I believe, he said, you have all the cheap guns and cars. Which is true. I have quite a few cheap guns and cars, also some expensive ones. So I believe it was actually aimed more as an insult towards me, like I'm a broke hoe. But since I'm not a broke hoe, and all I do is search for the best deals, we'll go ahead and get into the Beretta. So, $250 is what I paid out the door for it. And at the time there was a $50 rebate from Beretta, which means once I get that rebate returned back to me, $200 for this APEX A1 Carry. This is how it comes, in a box. Inside the box, you get one firearm with one 8-round single stack 9mm magazine. Metal. And pretty nice purchase on there. Very aggressively textured for those who like that sort of thing. I'm more of a smooth texture kind of guy. But to break this down, you will need to remove the magazine. If you have cycled it, there is no restrike on this, so when you pull the trigger, that's it. You cannot pull the trigger again. You will neither need to pull the trigger, or you will have to push a pin or punch or some heavy metal object in here to release the striker. Either way works, but if you're a little worried about pulling the trigger, that's how you disarm it. It'll still make the clicking sound, so you'll know when you've pressed hard enough. It does come with an optics ready slide. You can just take this off, put whatever optic you want on there. With that, to me, that kind of defeats the purpose of a small concealed carry gun. You do have the one front sight, white dot, and blacked out rear sights that are serrated, I believe, in an effort to reduce glare. So take this thing apart after you have pulled the trigger. As in typical Beretta M9 fashion, you will flip this down, slide it forward to make sure your magazine's out. We have a dual captured spring guide rod and a small barrel. I don't know how well you can see down the barrel, but it is a traditionally rifled barrel. After cleaning, you will reassemble it, opposite of removal. Put your barrel back in. Guide rod. Place the slide back on the frame. Flip the switch back up. Function check. And you're golden. Now, this one is the wife's. This one is mine. And I wanted the 6-shot magazine in there for more concealability. As you can see, other than that, it is the same gun. The same in every dimension, but I wanted more concealability, so I'm sacrificing the 2 extra shots for the 6-round. And it still comes with a little bit of a tip on here, so you can still get your pinky on there, a full grip, just like this. It's just a little more recessed up here, which is fine. I prefer the 6-round. But as mentioned, I do, it came with 8, and then I bought another 8. So I do, if I go out and about, will carry the spare 2 8-rounds, which is 25 rounds total, I believe. 8, 16, 6, 22, 1 in the mag, or 1 in the chamber, 23. 23 rounds. And that would be compared to a similarly sized gun, the Taurus G2C, which is actually a double stack 9. That holds 12 rounds. And similarly priced, I paid a little over $200 for this, I believe, maybe $215-ish or so. So if you hold them together, they're damn near the same width. A little longer the Taurus is, and then when placed over the top of each other, the magazine does go down a little more on the 12 rounds. So you do get, if you carry this and the spare mag, more firepower, 25 rounds total, compared to this with 2 extra mags that are both 8s if you had the 6 in here. It'd be the 23. Of course, you could get 25 if you just carry 3 8-round mags. Another similarly sized gun that may be more directly competing with is the Walther PPS, which has a 7-round magazine in it right now. And for that, I bought the 6-rounder, because it came with the 7 and the 8-round mag, but I bought a 6 to make it even more concealable. So if we look at the PPS versus the APX A1, we can see the PPS is more narrow, a little longer. And of course, the magazine is a little longer with the 7-rounder. It is even longer with the 8-round. As you can see, these two magazines, 8-round goes way, way longer than the 6-round in the Beretta. But if we put the 6-round in with the PPS, it actually does become shorter than even the 6-round in the Beretta. But you also don't get a spot for your pinky, so you will have to kind of put your pinky up under it like that. Whereas on the Beretta, with the 6-rounder, you don't have to. So I kind of like that about the Beretta more. But I do kind of like about the PPS that this is a much smoother grip. It actually is, you know, textured, but not like textured where if you go and shoot this thing, it's going to sandpaper your hands where you need to wear gloves like you will with this. And I guess the only other thing I didn't show was if you do decide to rock the 8-rounder in your Beretta, because there is no 7-round option, so either 6 or 8. 8. Significantly bigger than the PPS's 6. 8 versus the PPS's 7. Very similarly sized, actually. And then I suspect, then, with as big as the 8-rounder is on the PPS, the 8-rounder on the PPS will be bigger than the 8-rounder on the Beretta, which is about true. Only a little, but still bigger. Bigger in length, bigger in height, just a little more narrow on the PPS. Other guns, I wouldn't consider the Security 9 to be in the same category as this, because this is a pretty decent sized gun, and it is a double stack magazine at 15 rounds. So I believe that this would be more competing with the Taurus in that sense, as these are both double stack 9s, and the Security 9 is clearly longer. About the same width, and just a scotch taller. Walter PPK compared to the Beretta. This is also a single stack, of course. PPK is actually slightly longer. A little more narrow though, so it's probably pretty close to the PPS. And if you have this in either the .380 or the .32 caliber, this would hold 7 rounds because the PPKS. 7 rounds plus 1, which would get you 8 total. 7 if you're rocking the 6-round mag here. Of course, 9 if you're rocking the 8-round mag. And if your PPK is in .22 caliber, that's 10 rounds plus 1. Single stack, of course. So we went over a little on the 10 minutes here, but the point is I just wanted to give you a little overview and kind of comparison if you were comparing, looking at this gun versus some of the others. I'm trying to remember what I paid for the PPS. I want to say it was closer to 300 though. This was 200. I believe my PPK was about 300. 200 for the Beretta, damn good deal. I don't remember what I paid for the Security 9, but that's the wife's anyway. She bought that one herself. And the same with her, Beretta. And of course my full-size Beretta M9. Not that this is much of a comparison, because they're completely two different guns. They're just made by the same manufacturer, but the M9 is a behemoth compared to the smaller, more concealable APX A1. But I think this is also the point that I'm making where old boy was like, you buy all the cheap guns. Yeah, if I'm going to go out in public, I'm going to carry my cheap gun. You think I'm going to carry this thing when I go out in public? One, it's a behemoth. But more importantly, if you shoot somebody with this thing in self-defense, this thing's getting seized. And I paid almost $700 for the gun, $500 for the custom slide, like $100 for the custom grips. Under no circumstances, I'm still waiting on the $200 stainless barrel to come in. I got the stainless guide rod. This gun, I paid more than double in customization, than what I paid for the gun. Well, like a little over 100%. So I'm saying this gun, as it sits, is double what I paid for it. So I'm not blasting anybody with this thing. I don't want my good Beretta M9 getting seized. So if I'm getting something seized, it's going to be one of these cheap guns. It's going to be the PPS, the Taurus, or my Beretta APX A1, which I believe I got a pretty good deal on. $200 for a Beretta, you can't beat it. So alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps a little if you were considering one of these. I have yet to take it to the range, but I will once we go and compare it with all the other compact 9s. And then I also got to fire all my full-size 9s and my 22s and etc. It's going to be a big range day when I take everything that needs to be shot. So that's it. Tabletop review, Beretta APX A1 Carry compared with some other concealed carry options, namely the Taurus, PPK, and PPS. This is a P22, kind of like a small version of my PPQ. But I think I'll do its own video on that. So, alright. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps. Catch you boys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.